Alrighty, so I've literally tried recording this video about 5 or 6 times on my computer and it is just not working. So we're switching over to a different camera and hopefully this one is going to work. I know it's strange to see a video uploaded to a YouTube channel that has not been active in literally 4 years, but here we are. And on top of that, there's a reason for it. I started this channel 4 years ago because I really wanted to make content on Vanguard, and this is Vanguard related, so I'm going to upload it to this channel. I've kind of decided over the past couple of days that I want to go on a little bit of a journey. I think journeys are best whenever you know who you're on them with. So this is kind of a little introduction to me. My name is Jonathan. You can just call me John. I am 22 years old and I am from Mississippi. I've been in Mississippi really my whole life. Growing up in the South, obviously car games are not going to be the biggest hobby that we have going around here. But of course, that was the one hobby that I always really wanted to get into. On top of that, I grew up in a religious household, which is not a problem until it came to animes and games that I wanted to play, because a lot of them I couldn't. I'm talking Pokemon, I'm talking Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm talking Magic, I'm talking Bakugan, I'm talking Beyblade, I'm talking like literally anything you could probably think of that was a big deal when you were a kid. I was not really allowed to actually get or use or play with. Now somehow I ended up convincing my parents to allow me to play Cardfight Vanguard. This was like literally a month before G-Era started, so I played at the very end of normal Vanguard right into G-Era. I played for about a year. I was able to go to my first ever locals in my entire life. My mama drove like 4 hours so I could get to a locals, and I ended up making some friends, and it was just an amazing experience. After about a year of me playing, my parents decided that they in fact did not like me playing Vanguard, so they made me quit. Now, to this day, I don't hold any resentment against them. If you're from the South, you know that some people are just raised that way, and so I understand that they were just doing what they thought was best to protect me. And that was kind of the end of Vanguard for me until I ended up going to college in 2020. I got off to college, I had all this newfound freedom. I was like, I'm finna watch all the Harry Potter movies, all the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm finna buy Beyblades. Like, I don't care. We finna do it all. And so I called up a local like game store, and I was talking with them about card games and what they had locals for, and they ended up bringing up Cardfight Vanguard. And at this time, I didn't even know the game still existed, so I was like, whoa, this is kind of neat. So what I do, I showed up, I threw a 20 on the table, I got myself my little Asha V-Series deck, and absolutely got wiped. I didn't come close to winning a single game that night. But during my time there, I was able to make some new friends. Some people introduced themselves to me, and I was kind of able to get back into the game of Vanguard. Through months of me playing and showing up at locals, I decided, you know what? I've always wanted to be a content creator. I've watched people like Different Fight and Solemn Vanguard, and it would be cool to make content about something I genuinely enjoy. So I uploaded a few videos to this channel like 4 years ago, and since then, there's just been nothing. And that's mainly because your boy flunked out of college. My second semester of my freshman year, I just didn't get any work done. Having all this newfound freedom meant I could really go and do as I please, but that also meant that I got to choose if I wanted or if I wanted not to do my homework. And most of the time it was the second one. So I ended up coming home. And that was tough for a couple of reasons, but mainly because there wasn't a locals near me. I mean, the nearest locals was a few hours drive. I wasn't working, and I still didn't know what I was doing with my life. So it was just hard to play. I still kept up with the game, with the anime. I kept buying cards. I got into Overdress. I got introduced to Remote Fight so I could still make friends, and I still have friends that I keep up to this day that I met on Remote Fight. I have hours and hours of uncut footage. I have fully edited videos and docuseries that I never released simply because I didn't know what I'd do next. So I ended up going to a local community college, and that really kind of was just my life for the next couple of years. I ended up joining a collegiate a cappella group, which I know sounds crazy, but it's literally what it sounds like. If you've seen Pitch Perfect, you definitely know what I'm talking about. I also met a girl, her name Kayla. She is like the best thing that's ever happened to me, love of my life, and she also plays card games with me, so I think I'm winning. Now, because I was so busy with school and a relationship, I just kind of decided to back away from Vanguard a little bit. I ended up selling most of my Overdress stuff because it was really hard to try and update all of my decks and keep them ready for standard. I just kind of held on to my premium stuff. Me and Kayla eventually found Digimon the card game, and that was a game we got pretty invested to. We've been playing for about 2 years now, and it's been a lot of fun. We found a locals that wasn't too far from the school we were at, and We were both able to make some friends, and it's just been a great experience. And it reminded me a lot of what it was like when I was a kid and first made friends playing card games. And then I graduated with my first degree in music, which was awesome, but that meant that I couldn't dorm anymore and I had to go home. Now, because of that and getting a job and then another job and then deciding to go back to school again for another degree, I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to play. I didn't have the time to drive to locals. It was too far now, and I was so wrapped up with work. It's just been difficult. Me and Kayla still play card games. We play a lot of card games, but it's hard to have time in our very busy schedules to make a trip to a locals when we don't really know what all is going on. And during our time playing this game, before I moved home, I started a Digimon card channel. I actually kept up with it for about a month or two, but like I said, once I got out of the dorms, it was really hard to get around and keep up with content. But I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed making content and editing videos, and it was just another hobby of mine. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I was scrolling on Facebook and saw some announcement about Dare Days 2, and I didn't even play Dare Days 1, so I didn't know much about it. I've been out of Vanguard for so long, I just didn't really know what was going on. I didn't think much about it, so I just shrugged it off. And that was until about a couple of days ago when I'm driving home from work and I'm like, Vanguard. Like, I remember that. I grew up with that game. Like, that game was my game. Like, and I thought to myself, what if I just tried it? Like, what's the worst that can happen? I download a video game, get a little bit of nostalgia, and then I just sit it down and never play it again. And then I bought it, and then I played it, and here we are now. And I'm making a video. I really can't describe what the feeling's been like the past couple of days. It really reminds me of when I was a kid, when I learned Vanguard for the first time. Everything's so different. We have new cards, new abilities, core mechanics of the game have changed since I last played. It's just so different. And as I was playing, I've kind of realized that I just kind of gave up on it. I gave up on Vanguard, on making content, on trying to be a better card fighter. I just gave up. I'll give you a little story about that acapella group I was in. 2 years ago, we decided we were going to go out and compete in ICCA Varsity Vocals, which is loosely what Pitch Perfect, the movie, is based upon. We worked all year, went to Miami to compete in our quarterfinal, trying to get first or second place to advance to the next round. And we got third. Now, third's not bad, but like I said, only first and second place get to advance, so we just had to come back home. I remember feeling just so distraught and so sad because we worked so hard and I kind of felt like it was for nothing. I remember our director sitting us down and asking the people that were coming back the next year if we wanted to compete. And immediately in my head, I'm thinking, nah, no way. I've already been through this once. Like, it's just not worth it. Everybody else was the exact opposite. Losing for them, that feeling of being let down, fueled them. It set a fire in them. They wanted to win. They wanted to work hard and do better than they did previously. And so we worked so hard the next year. We went to our quarterfinal and we won the whole thing.
To celebrate your very first quarterfinal champion, the Voices!
Now, we would go on in the next round to not even place, but that's not what's important. I remember standing on that stage when they said our name and just thinking to myself, wow, could you imagine what would have happened if we just said, nah, we're not going to go back this year? If we would have just given up. But we didn't. We decided that we could do better. We knew we could do better, and so we grinded and we worked. We knew it was going to be a process, but we knew if we did it the right way that it was going to have a payoff, and it did. I can't help but relate that to myself in Vanguard. It's been with me my entire life. I've always wanted to be a good card fighter, to make content about the game that I enjoy, and I just always fell short. And every time that I hit a roadblock or I messed up or I fell down, I just chose to stay there. I never got back up. Every year I kind of set like a goal for myself, a New Year's resolution, if you will. And this year I just don't have one. I don't know if it's because I'm so busy with work or with school, or I've got so many things going on, but I just haven't set myself one until now. So I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to relearn the game that I love. I'm going to eventually get myself some physical cards. I'm going to go to a Bushiroad official event and see what I can do. No, I don't intend on topping or winning this event, but I've never been to one, and ever since I was a kid, it's been a dream that I'd be able to go and participate in one, and I just never have, and I genuinely don't want to give up on that. Now, for the time being, given my very busy schedule, I'm just going to stick with Dare Days 2. As busy as I am going to try to somewhat consistently be streaming Dare Days 2 over on Twitch. This is not really so that you guys can just come by and watch me play, but more so that you guys can actually help me. You have to think, it's been so long since I've played this game. I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't even know how to build decks right now. I don't really know what's going on. So having you guys come by and maybe give me some pointers or some helpful advice would help me throughout this journey I'm going on. On top of that, I'm going to try and provide video updates of kind of where I'm at, what's going on, maybe some more into my life and about who I am and my history with the game. I've got a lot of crazy stories about things that have happened, and as busy as I am, I really want to tell those stories so that other people can enjoy them. I know that many of you guys had never seen me before this video, but I promise you this isn't the last time you will see me. I've realized over the past couple of days that I'm not really just returning to a game that I grew up with, that's evolved with me over the years, that led me to so many new friendships that I never thought possible, but rather I'm returning to a game that makes me feel like I'm finally back home.